Major League Baseball has canceled opening day. Breaking it down on today's episode of Lockdown Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On Minnesota Twins podcast. Today is Tuesday, March 1st, and I'm your gracious host, Nash Walker. Thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. We're free and available on all podcast platforms. Again, this is Nash Walker. Been writing at Twins Daily for over 2 years. Been hosting this podcast for over 2 years through the COVID shutdown, through a last place season, and now through this lockout. It's not over. And last night, man, I was excited. If you listen to yesterday's episode, I was excited about the negotiations because it felt like it was coming to a head. It felt like it was going to be over, if not last night, today. And couldn't have been more wrong. Instead of the two sides coming to an agreement, Major League Baseball canceled opening day, and they have canceled the first 6 games, the first 2 series of the season for every club. We'll talk about what that means for the Twins today and what it means for Major League Baseball. And I said this yesterday. It's obviously a disastrous outcome for everybody. This sucks. I feel sad for the employees who work at Target Field, who work at all 30 stadiums across Major League Baseball. I feel sad for us, the fan. I feel sad for the players. I don't feel sad for the billionaire owners at all. And I think this is so important. I know that a lot of people have been behind the players, and they're so vocally behind the players, and it can kind of become overwhelming how much support there is for the players. Like you will be hard pressed to find support for the owners, in my mind. Like if you just peruse around social media or just get a general sense, and maybe that's just what I see. It's biased because I only see certain things, but the league instituted this lockout. The league could have players report right now. They could get rid of this lockout, say, all right, we'll work under the old CBA and move forward. They've chosen not to do that. This is all imposed by the league. This deadline today, deadline last night, the deadline today is a garbage. It doesn't mean anything. They could be talking right now. But Major League Baseball, as we talked about all offseason, the owners have the leverage. And the reason they have the leverage is because they can miss regular season games and be okay. And they want to push the players as far as possible because the players want their game checks. And it means more to them than it does to the owners in the regular season because these are billionaires. These are billionaire owners who really only care about the postseason. And they care about revenue during the regular season, but the postseason is where they make their hay. They make their money in those TV deals in October. So to them, losing a couple of regular season weeks of play is not nearly as disastrous as it is for the players who lose thousands and thousands in game checks. The owners don't care. We've known this. I don't know why I was so naive, and I've been optimistic from the beginning. I was wrong. I thought they'd get it done by now. I really did. I didn't think Major League Baseball would go this far, and I tweeted this out. You can follow me on Twitter at NashWalker9. Follow the show at Locked On Twins. I didn't think Major League Baseball was going to go this far. I didn't think they would let it come to this where they're canceling opening day in the first 6 games of the season for the Twins. This is so much different, but also very similar to 2020. It's different because it's not necessary. This is just, it's hogwash. It's ridiculous. It's not necessary to do what they're doing. In 2020, they had to suspend opening day. They didn't have to have a 60-game season. They could have probably had a 100-game season or more, but that's why it's similar because the owners didn't really care about the regular season, especially with no fans in the stands. They didn't really care. It's similar this year, but there are fans in the stands, so there's a little bit more on the line for owners in terms of ticket sales. But, man, this is ugly. I don't know why I expected anything different. I thought it would be ugly, but I thought they would figure it out by now. I really did because you're almost speechless. Like, this is unbelievable. It feels historic. It feels historic right now. It's like, I can't believe it's come to this. I can't believe they didn't come to an agreement and that opening day is compromised. It's completely compromised. It's gone. And plenty of people predicted this, and I kind of scoffed, laughed him off in some ways. I was like, there's no way. There's too much money on the line. There's no way they're going to allow this to happen. And they did. It happened. It's happening. And it's great to say the first 2 series of the season are canceled. It's great. You say, hey, we'll get 154 games in or whatever. For the Twins, it would be 156 games, and that's a pretty good outcome. But the problem is, man, it doesn't feel close. And last night, Major League Baseball is floating all this optimism, floating that this deal is close. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. The players are pushing back and saying, wait. We're not anywhere near a deal at this point. And then that came to fruition today. The players had a different tone, apparently. This is all media posturing from the league. And last night, building this optimism, building this hope for fans, it's kind of evil. It really is. And that's kind of how it's been throughout. Rob Manfred has a press conference today. He's smiling and laughing in his press conference, the press conference where he announced that the first two series of the season are going to be canceled and not made up. He didn't say postponed. He said canceled. That means we're not getting 162 this year, most likely, which I would have bet against. I would have said we were going to get 162 regardless, but the owners have decided they don't want you to get 162 games in 2022. They don't want you to see Byron Buxton on March 31st. Let's look at the Twins' schedule, how this impacts them, and how a lengthy delay could impact them and the rest of the league in terms of competitive balance, because, man, this is a mess. This is gross. We'll break it down after this word from BetOnline. Football might be over for this season, but basketball is here. It's full steam ahead for both pro and college hoops. From all the latest odds, totals, player performance props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline.net is the number one spot for all your sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds right to the next Olympic coverage and information. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline is where the game starts. I don't have to tell you, Selection Sunday is 12 days away. You're going to want to play, and you're going to want to play at BetOnline. It's the best place to play. Again, from all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, BetOnline.net is your number one spot for all your sports betting needs. Thank you again for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. Now make Locked On MLB Prospects your next listen. Host Lindsey Crosby is a prospect encyclopedia, and he's going deep on the MLB stars of tomorrow. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. So, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the Twins schedule here. It's been modified already by Major League Baseball and by MLB.com to reflect the schedule changes. The Twins were set to open, you can see on YouTube, on Thursday, March 31st in Chicago against the White Sox. That will not happen. They were supposed to play the White Sox March 31st, April 1st, April 2nd, I believe, or maybe it was the 1st, 3rd. 31st, 1st, and 3rd, I believe. And then they were set to play Cleveland in the first week of the season. So I think it was April 4th, 5th, and 6th. Those games have all been canceled. And that was on the road in Cleveland as well. It's weird how they do that. They usually have that off day in between opening day and the second day of the season. It's a weird scheduling thing that they do. So all 6 of those games have been canceled. You can see right off the bat, like from a competitive balance standpoint, now the Twins only have to play the White Sox 16 times instead of 19 times. And I'm going to tell you, I didn't like their chances in that opening series in Chicago. First series of the year. You know, White Sox fans are fired up. Joe Ryan's probably starting on opening day. We love Joe Ryan, but man, Joe Ryan against Lucas Giolito or Lance Lynn, I don't love our chances there. And that's been canceled. Also, series in Cleveland, been canceled against the Guardians. And I think the Guardians right now have a better team overall than the Twins. So right off the bat, competitive balance. You can see certain teams are going to benefit from this and certain teams are going to hurt from this. And I don't want to get into right now how a shortened season impacts the Twins because it absolutely helps the Twins. I think there's no question about that. I think a shortened season, and someone wrote about this at twinsdaily.com. I think it was Melissa wrote about this. It definitely benefits the Twins because they don't have the pitching depth at all. They really don't. And to lose a series against the White Sox and Cleveland definitely benefits them. And I want to say that with, biting my tongue because this doesn't benefit anybody to lose games. But I just want to point out that competitive balance is going to be impacted here. And so the first game we will see the Twins in a best case scenario is at home at Target Field on opening day, which would be April 7th against the Mariners. They play the Mariners the 7th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's a 4-game series against an up-and-coming Seattle team. Then the Twins are set to play the Dodgers for 2 at Target Field right after that, an off day on the 14th of April. Then at Boston, at Kansas City, at home against the White Sox, at home against the Tigers, and then at Tampa Bay to finish the month. At this point, I don't know why you would expect these games to be played in April. Like, I think it's almost a certainty they're going to lose the Seattle series, and I think they're going to lose the Dodgers series. Like, it's going to be at least another week, I think. I don't even know when they're set to start talking again, the two sides. Apparently, they're going to resume negotiations in New York. I don't know if that's going to be this week or next, but it doesn't look good. Like, you still need spring training. It's March 1st today. Twins are supposed to play on April 7th. They need spring training, and the sides are still far apart and even more upset with each other than before. So I don't know why you'd expect opening day to be on April 7th. I think that's really optimistic, and I just don't see it. I don't see it, unfortunately. And again, I've been optimistic throughout this entire process, but I think right now I have to be real, and I have to say to myself, what do I actually think is going to happen? What I actually think is going to happen is we're going to lose April. I think we're going to lose April. I think the way that things are looking right now, and I know things heat up at the end, I think the players are sticking their heels in the ground and they're saying, we're not budging. We're going to get the best deal. Anthony Rizzo tweets out today, we're going to miss the fans. This is for the next generation of baseball. Like, this is bigger than April. This is bigger than an April's worth of games for the players. That's why I think we're going to lose April. Like, this is bigger than a couple weeks at the beginning of the season. I think we're going to lose that. And for the Twins, shortening the schedule doesn't hurt them. Absolutely does not hurt them, but it's terrible for baseball. It's horrific for baseball to lose opening day. And I talked about this yesterday. There is not a better day on the baseball calendar than opening day. Like, even if your team has no chance, you find a way to get excited on opening day. And Major League Baseball has lost that. And we don't know when it's going to come. We don't know when that day will be. And it just sucks. Like, you can't even, I have a countdown every year. I have a countdown app of when opening day is going to be. I don't know what date to set it for. If someone knows, you let me know. I'll put it in there. Let's talk more about this, the ramifications, and where we go next. After this word from Built Bar and Rock Auto. This is the time of year that I've pretty much given up on all my New Year's resolutions, but not this year. I'm sticking to my resolution to eat right thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not really a resolution because I actually enjoy eating them. Have you tried the Puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting flavors. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, they're not just a protein bar, they're a treat, and they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite with some incredible flavors: yummy cinnamony churro, coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie. So good. These are going to be your new favorite. All Built Bars are covered in 100% real chocolate. Yes, Puffs included. 100% real chocolate. Low calorie, high protein. Replace your candy bars with these. They're better. And a typical candy bar can be anywhere from 200 to 300 calories. A typical Built Bar has only 130 calories. You can go to Built.com right now. Use that promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Built Bars are delicious. Built Bars are healthy. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it's now impossible for your local chain auto parts store to stock all the parts you need. Why endure often pointless or seemingly intimidating questioning and wait while the person behind the counter orders the parts on their computer, choosing the only brand their warehouse happens to carry? You have computers with access to rockauto.com at home and in your pocket. Save time and money when using Rock Auto. Why choose to spend 30%, 50%, even 100% more for the same parts from a chain store or car dealership? And Rock Auto is a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Rock Auto prices are reliably low for every customer, and they have everything you can need: brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpet. Go to rockauto.com right now and see all the parts available for your car or truck. Right, Locked On in their How Did You Hear About Us box, so they know we sent you. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. rockauto.com. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the acronym CBA. I'm tired of the word negotiation. I'm tired of seeing MLB and the MLBPA on my timeline. I'm sick of it. So when is it going to end? Yesterday, I said it never felt like it was closer. It felt so close yesterday. It felt like it so much momentum, so much steam, and I fell victim to the media posturing because clearly it wasn't. There's no way it could have been last night. There's no way it could have been that close last night, as close as we were hearing through the media. There's no way. Today, I sit here and tell you it's never felt like it's further away, to be honest with you, because if they're willing to lose opening day and the first two series and the first couple, I mean, I'm telling you, I think they're willing to lose a lot. Andrew Miller said we're prepared. Like they are prepared to lose games. They're prepared to lose weeks worth of games to get the right deal. I think the feeling now is like, if we're not going to start on time anyway, let's get the best deal possible and wait this thing out. I don't see a middle ground with that. It's either we start on opening day. The outcomes to me were like you start on opening day, the players make some concessions, they don't get the best deal possible, but they start on time, or they hold out. They hold out and they wait for the best offer, for an actual fair offer from the owners before they accept it and before opening day is on the schedule. And I think that's the way we're heading. Like they're willing to lose checks to fight for this. They're very upset about the last CBA. They're very upset about how the game has trended, where players are seen as nothing more than commodities and nothing more than assets and nothing more than a dollar figure. And they're going to try to change it. And they're trying to change it through this next CBA, through these negotiations. And I just don't see an outcome where they're not going to get the deal they want or something very, very close to it. And the two sides are so far apart. And I think because the players are willing to wait and because Major League Baseball is willing to wait and lose games, that's a disastrous equation there. That equals we're probably not starting until May. And I hate saying that. Like, I hate saying that. And I hope I'm wrong. But at this point, I've been optimistic all offseason. And now I'm changing my tune because I was pessimistic, or I was skeptical, I should say, of the players and how hard they would dig their heels in on this. And man, they're digging. Like they are digging, and I think they're going to continue to dig. And I don't think that they're going to come out of it easily. I think they're going to fight for what they think they deserve. And if that's the case, it's not happening soon. So I hope it does. I'm hoping and praying that they meet again soon, that they talk this out, that we can get baseball. But this is a historic day, like a really sad day, and losing opening day is terrible. Now, if I'm sitting here next week and I'm like, they're close again, they're going to come to an agreement, and we're going to start on April 7th at Target Field. Twins are going to play the Mariners. We only lost 6 games. We lost the first week of the season, not even the first week of the season. Let's play ball. I'm going to be really happy, and we might even forget that opening day was lost. But it's more so what it represents, and it's more so where we're trending. Like that's the depressing and sad part of this is losing opening day sucks in itself. But if they get back the next week, again, I think you'll forget it. Like you'll forget that they lost 6 games. It's playing 156 versus 162. Not that different, but this represents something more. This represents, I think, the players bracing for impact, like bracing for multiple weeks lost here. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but at the same time, I hope they get what they deserve. Thanks for making Locked On Twins your first listen every day. Don't make your second listen Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan, please call him Sully, brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues past and present. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to continue on with PECOTA projections. That later this week, we're going to talk about Josh Donaldson. We're going to talk about Byron Buxton, Alex Kirilloff. What does PECOTA think? Because there are so many fun storylines with this team. And I'm going to tell you confidently, we're going to get baseball this summer. It's just going to be a matter of when. Thanks again for listening. Have a great day. Go Twins. Follow me on Twitter at NashWalker9. Follow the show at Locked On Twins. We'll talk to you again later this week. Thanks so much. Have a great day. And as always, even in these times, go Twins.